Hello everyone, good morning. I'm Steve from UCAN English Tutoring. In this video, I'm going to assess one of the letters written by my student for Mrs. Maria John's case notes. Before we jump onto the correction and assessment of this letter, I would like to provide a gentle reminder in regards to my membership programs. I have got a range of membership programs such as silver, gold, and platinum. If you click on the join button that is located close to the subscription tab, you should be able to see all the details in relation to these membership programs. If you join any one of these membership programs, you would be able to have an access to all the members only videos that are exclusively made to help you out pass your OET, IELTS, and PT academic examinations in one attempt itself. Let's start the assessment of this letter now. So you have written down date on the top. You don't need to place this dot. You just need to write down only 14 December 2014. That's it, right? So don't place the dot here. Okay, so these are the addressees details, isn't it? Dr. Patrick D'Souza, the senior endocrinologist. Okay, endocrinologist, that's fine. A Bluewell Hospital, Australia 468. I think there should be 4 digits, okay? But I don't know why you have written only 3 digits. When you go through the case notes, you should be able to find that out. There should be 4 digits. It's really essential that we don't commit any mistakes in copying the addressee's contact details from the case notes to the letter, okay? Yeah, everything else is good. That's fine. So the first mistake, what I'm gonna mention here is, okay, Australia 468. Yeah. The pin code, yeah, the pin code should contain 4 digits. Okay, all right. But I don't know why you have written on this the pin code or the postcode or the zip code. Yeah, that's all right. Let's go ahead.
The case note 468, sir.
Sorry, they have given only 3 or no?
Yeah, 3. Yes,
3
sir.
only. I think, yeah, that's all right. But yeah, but usually it has got 4 digits. Yeah, okay, that's all right. Let's go here. Dear Dr. D'Souza, there should be a comma. So you didn't place the comma. So dear Dr. D'Souza, dear Dr. D'Souza. Dear Dr. D'Souza. So you need to place a comma here. I'm going to copy this and then place it here. And then there should be a comma, okay? Right. And then the next one is regarding Mrs. Maria John, aged 60. That's fine. I'm referring Mrs. Maria John, who requires your expert advice, further assessment and treatment after being discharged today. Okay. I have given you an information regards to one of the mistakes, but you have unfortunately committed the same thing again. After being discharged, this is what you have written on, right? I told you that, after being, when you write down being, okay, you have to use the third form of the verb only. You can't just use the present verb over there. So you should say being discharged, all right? It's not being discharged. This is wrong. So you should say after being discharged today, all right? This is important. This is important. You can't commit mistakes, like this. It's not good. All right, let's go here. After being discharged today. Otherwise, what you could have done is after her discharge today. That's fine. It's very simple. So what you should have done is you could have written down after her discharge today. See, what we should do is to avoid the mistakes ourselves. Okay, if you are not able to use the correct verb form after writing down the phrase being, it is better to avoid it. It is better to use alternative phrases. For example, after her discharge today. That is fine. I don't want you to commit the mistakes. It's very simple. All right, there are ways to avoid them. There are ways to use different phrases in order to replace this one. Okay, we don't need to write this one down. It's not necessary that you have to use any sentences by using being. Okay, it's not needed. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, let's go here. She has been suffering with, okay, suffering never ever goes with the with. Okay, that's one mistake. Okay, suffering never ever go with the with. It's going to be suffering from. When we have written down the leave letters, okay, as I have been suffering from fever, I would like to ask a day's leave and so on, isn't it? So it's not suffering with. Suffering never ever goes with the with preposition. Remember this. Whenever you commit a mistake like this, so suffering with, you have to tell this maybe 100 times, and then record it on your mobile phone. I know it may be a bit disappointing or a bit awkward, but you have to use this. Okay. And the other thing is, this is not recommended. Okay. Suffering from is not recommended. And the reason is that this is an informal phrase. Remember that your writing is 100% formal. So we need to achieve, at least close to that level. Okay. We don't need to write down all the words in the formal tone. It is okay to write down some informal phrases, but the obvious ones can be replaced with it. Do you know what I mean? So you can say experiencing. Instead of saying suffering, you can use experiencing. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead here. Okay. So she has been experiencing hypothyroidism for the past 6 months. That's good. I'm happy with that. So the introduction paragraph is good apart from these two mistakes. Okay. Let's go to the next one. 4 days before. I told you this. It's not 4 days before. It's 4 days ago. Do you remember this? Okay. And the other thing is 4 days ago. I mean, ago is more formal than before. You have to place a comma as well. When you translate this particular phrase, okay, particular sentence into your first language, you will naturally give a pause. Am I correct? After this particular phrase, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to give a comma here. So the pause in your speaking will be replaced with the comma in the writing. Simple. All right. Yeah, I've been telling this, several times, but I don't know whether you understood this or not. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Miss John. Is it Miss John? So you have changed the prefix of the patient, I believe. Yeah. See this one? It is Mrs. John, right? You have changed it to Miss John. That's not good. That's not good. All right. Changing the prefixes of the addressee or the patient is going to damage your score. That's not good. That's not good. Okay. Mrs. John. All right. Let's go ahead with the next one. 4 days before, okay, Miss John was admitted with the joint pain, abdominal pain, constipation, dry mouth. Okay. When you write down, the last item, when you list out the range of things, 1, 2, 3, 4, using commas in between, before the last item, you should use and you shouldn't use a comma here. So constipation, comma, dry mouth needs to be replaced with the constipation and dry mouth. Okay. Do you understand what I mean? So it should be yes, constipation and dry mouth. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, the next one is she also reported slurred speech, dizziness, and fatigue were reported. No. See, okay, the same thing you have committed here as well. Okay, she also reported, this is an active voice. Okay, right? And then now you are saying fatigue were reported. It's the passive voice form. So you have joined both of them in one sentence. That's not good. Okay, so what you should have done. So she also reported, that can be removed. Okay, so what you could have done is, instead of writing down she also reported, okay, you could have mentioned also comma, and then whatever you are writing down here is correct. Also, slurred speech, dizziness, and fatigue were reported by her. Or in this case you can mention by her, because it makes sense. Otherwise it's okay. Even if you don't mention that, that's fine. And fatigue, you need to use and fatigue. Okay, so dizziness, comma, fatigue. Okay, all right. You should say, sorry, this is spelling mistake. When I typed faster, started getting the mistakes. Okay, dizziness and fatigue. Okay, here you go. Let's go to the next one. Okay, and fatigue. All right. Okay, where reported, that's fine. On assessment, there should be a full stop. I don't know where you have placed the full stop. Full stop wasn't visible. Okay, you have to write down the full stop in a visible manner. Not only the full stop, but also the commas. So you should say it reported and then full stop. There should be a dot that is visible. Okay, on assessment there should be a comma, but you haven't mentioned it, so that's not good. On assessment there should be a comma. On assessment there should be a comma. Okay, remember that we need to place a comma after on assessment, on examination, on observation, on monitoring, on blah, 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 blah. If you write that particular phrase in the beginning of a sentence, is that clear with you? Her vital signs were blood pressure. No. Were they normal or not?
The BP was high and the other thing is okay.
So you should have summarized them. If you don't need to mention all these things separately, you could have said her blood pressure, sorry, apart from her blood pressure, or you can say, for example, you can say on assessment, comma, her vital signs were found to be normal except the blood pressure, which was higher. And then you can, or you can say which was high at, and then you can mention the value. Okay. So you can say her vital signs were normal except blood pressure, which was found to be 170/100 mm of He, something like that,
Yeah.
All right. So what you have mentioned, you shouldn't have please summarize. Please summarize, the information. Try not to mention all of them. Summarize the information and provide only the contradicting things. That's it. So this means, okay, what you should have done is on assessment, her vital signs were normal except the blood pressure, except her blood pressure, which was found to be high, or which was high, and then and then you can mention whatever it is, 170/110, whatever the value, mmHg. Okay, that's fine. So this is how you should have written down. Or you can say, even you can remove this one, which was found to be, you can just say which was high at, and then that is also good. Okay, so that's fine. It's up to you, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
but this is wrong. The one you have written on is wrong. Okay, you need to summarize. Do interpret the information. Don't just copy and paste it here. It's not good. During hospitalization, comma, lab investigation. You don't need to use the capital L. I don't know why you have used the capital L. Lab review, lab examination. It should be the small L only. Small LAB. Okay, so small LAB. Lab investigations revealed decreased level. No, it's not decreased level. Decreased level. Going to be decreased level. All right, it's not decreased level. No. Okay, let's go to the next one. Decreased level of 78. Yeah, whatever it is.
No,
That's the level.
TSH.
PSI.
Sorry,
Sorry?
TSH.
TSH. Oh yeah. Okay, I thought it's 70. Oh, it sounds like 70. Okay, decreased level of TSH. Okay, can you expand this one? Do you know the abbreviations?
Yes, sir. Thyroid stimulating hormone.
You could have mentioned that. Yeah, reveal the decreased level of. And what is this T3, T4? Are they the same thing?
Thyroxine 3. No, that is another test. Thyroxine 3 and thyroxine 4.
Then you should have placed a comma here, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you say reveal the decreased level of, this one, whatever the expansions, you can say reveal the decreased level of these things, comma, increased levels of, and then you can mention T3 and T4, whatever it is. Hemoglobin was 8 gram. Was that was it high or less than the normal level?
Low, sir.
Low. Okay, you should mention that. Okay, otherwise, instead of writing down all these things, one by one, I mean, in one sentence itself, it is better to write down or split it into 2 different sentences. Do you understand? So it's not necessary for you to include all of them in one sentence itself. You can say during hospitalization, lab investigations revealed the decreased level, of, and then you expand this one, and increased level of, and high level of T3, T4. That's it. Put a full stop. Then you write down the next one. In addition, hemoglobin level, whatever it is, you write down, one by one after that. Okay. Okay, and then you mentioned under blood sugar level more than 400 mg per dl shown. Okay, you don't need to mention per dl is okay. You don't need to mention shown. And the other thing is that her blood pressure sugar level was more than, isn't it? It's not like level more than. That's wrong. Level more than, level was more than. Okay, that's what you have to write down. Okay, right, and shown is not needed. Per dl shown. You can say simply DL. That's okay. Remove shown from there. All right, let's go to the next one. What is the next one? Okay. That's fine. Magnetic resonance imaging detected slight bleeding in temporal bone along. So temporal bone,
Comma.
is that a comma? Okay, comma.
Comma, sir. Comma.
Along with
With that.
You need to start, the new sentence. Don't use along with that. It's wrong. You can't write it down with the previous, with the previous information in the same sentence. This is wrong. You should say along with that needs to start in a new sentence. Otherwise, you can use along with which, okay? And you don't need to, you don't need to place a comma here as well before, after bone. Okay, let's go ahead with that. Along with that, so one way is to change it, put a full stop previously, and then start a new sentence like this along with that. Okay, that's one way. All right, that's the easy way. So you don't need to worry too much about that. Okay, right. Slight bulging in the right upper quadrant of the abdomen was found in ultrasonography. That's okay. That's fine. And then X-ray revealed. X-ray needs an article, an X-ray. Yes, an X-ray revealed. Okay, that should be the next one. An X-ray revealed enlarged glands in the neck. Okay, she was treated with the Ramipril 5 mg daily. There should be a comma. Where is the comma? For thyroxine. Daily thyroxine. Daily, comma, thyroxine. Sorry, it should be capital T. All right, let's go ahead with the next one. Thyroxine. Okay, 25 mg twice daily. Injection insulin. I told you, isn't it? It's like insulin injection. When they mention injection insulin, you don't need to place the capital I here. It's not needed. And you don't need to use the twice capital letter as well. That's not needed. I don't know why you have been doing these things. Okay. Twice, it must be small t, WIS. What's the next thing? Injection, you don't need to use the capital I. Okay, injection. Is that amoxicillin? Sorry, just a second. Injection insulin. Yep, sorry. Injection insulin. Okay. So what you should have done is you should have mentioned like this: insulin injection. That's it. All right. And then here place the comma. That's fine. I'm happy with the way that you have been placing the comma. All right. Let's go ahead with the next one. Calcium supplements. Comma. Calcium supplements. Paracetamol 500 mg thrice daily, and penta. So 40 mg once daily. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so what you could have done was the calcium supplements could have been placed in the last item, okay, in the same sentence, because that's different thing, isn't it, from the medicines, right? You can mention all these medicines and then calcium supplements can go to the end of the sentence. Okay, right, let's go to the next one, but that's a recommendation only, don't worry about that. Okay, Mrs. John lives, comma, lives with. Why did you place this comma here? I don't understand. Mrs. John, comma, lives with. Okay, you don't need to remove the comma, please. You don't need to place a comma here. Let's go to the next one. With her husband and her mother had diabetes mellitus. She is also having irritable bowel syndrome. Do you know the spelling for syndrome? This is wrong.
He should.
Yes, syndrome. Okay, that's wrong. When you change it, it changes automatically. Syndrome. Okay, that's not good. Syndrome, hypertension, seizure disorder, and right-sided paraplegia, paralysis. Okay, there should be right-sided, must have an hyphen in between. So right and then sided. Okay, it should be right hyphen sided. All right. The next one is what's the next one? Following the stroke. That's fine. Okay, based on the aforementioned information. Okay. Okay, based on the aforementioned information, that is fine, comma, if you could do further assessment, if you could conduct. Okay, it's better to use conduct or perform rather than do. It's better to avoid it. Okay, if you could conduct or if you could perform, you know what I mean, or perform, you can use either of them. They can help you out a lot. Proofreading is really important. I can't stress enough. Okay, more than what I have said. Okay, if you could do further assessment and treatment, it would be appreciated. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Is there a full stop after this? I can't see the full stop.
D.
After
It's in
D,
the
okay.
D.
Don't place it just you know, really close to the word, but just leave a small gap and then place it. I mean, it needs to be visible, right? And then thyroidectomy has been recommended, although Mrs. John requested for the conservative treatment. Okay. Okay, so the way you have written on this sentence is incorrect. Okay, what do we need to do? Okay, so although comma, remove the comma. So that's the first thing. Remove the comma after this, because although is not a connecting phrase. So what you should have done was, you could have written down, although thyroidectomy has been recommended, comma, she requested the conservative treatment. Okay, you don't need to say requested for the doesn't make sense. She requested the conservative treatment, or conservative treatment was requested by her. Okay, something like that. So requested for the, you can say requested the conservative treatment. That's it. All right, let's go ahead with the next one. Physiotherapy. Okay, so it's not physiotherapy, but physiotherapy and regular exercises should be advised. Don't use, should be advised. Okay, so one is physiotherapy. It's not physiotherapy, it's physiotherapy. Okay, and then the next one is, and regular exercises should be advised. Okay, you don't need to use should be advised. I mean, it's not that formal. Dietary modifications would be recommended. No, you could have included all these things together, isn't it? You can say, for example, physiotherapy, regular exercises, and dietary modifications are recommended. That's it. So you could have saved at least 2 to 3 words, in this sentence itself, maybe 3-4 words. Please monitor her after each meal walking. No, I don't understand. Each meal walking. So after meal, she walks. She likes to walk. Is that what you're saying? And you need to monitor her, like after the walking. But this one is not clearly conveyed. So you could have mentioned, let's say, okay. I mean, you could mention like this: monitor. Okay, so after her meal, please monitor her walking, something like that. So you could have mentioned it a different way. Anyway, kindly monitor her dairy products. Okay, dairy products. All right. Is it this dairy? I don't think this is dairy. It's actually, it must be DAI. Yeah, it's wrong, right? This is a notebook actually. So it's where we write down. I think that's dairy. Okay, dairy products. It's not dairy products. No, this is dairy products. Okay. All right, spelling mistake. That's not good. Okay, medication chart has been enclosed with this letter. It's with this letter. Okay. So should you require further information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours sincerely, Shelly Kate Charge Nurse. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But unfortunately, already you have committed so many mistakes. Oh my God, it's not good. Let me give you the feedback on this one. Grammar, okay, requires urgent attention. You have to work out on grammar. Okay, particularly use of articles, prepositions, nouns, verbs, punctuations needs to be improved as soon as possible. It's really important. Please go through this. I've been advising you to do this, please. Sorry. And the other is vocabulary would have been better with the use of more formal words and synonyms. Okay, layout could have been better. You could have placed the the punctuation marks properly. Okay, such as commas and full stops. Okay, overall task fulfillment could have been much better. because you don't need to write down all those things. You have to provide the summary, but you haven't been giving. That's not good. All right. Use of passive voice needs to be accurate and frequent. I mean, you need to use more and more sentences in passive voice form, but you didn't do that. Use of a range of sentences is not up to the mark. You have been trying to write them down, but you have been committing a lot of grammatical mistakes, when you write those things down. Okay, so that's not good. It could have been much better. Oral spelling is another area of concern. Okay, I'm really concerned about your spelling. That's not good. Okay. All right, connectivity is okay, but in some occasions you haven't placed the connecting phrases properly. You haven't placed the connecting phrases properly. For example, although. If you wanted to use although there, it is incorrect. You should have replaced it with however. Okay, something like that. All right. What else? Okay, let's say overall task fulfillment layout. Presentation features could be improved a bit as well. Okay. All right, let's go ahead with the score, expected score. With these many mistakes, I wouldn't be happy to give you perhaps more than 250. This can get you 250, but I'm fully convinced to give you only 240 for this letter rather than 250. Okay, I'm really sorry to advise you that your writing needs to be improved a lot. You need to spend a lot of time for proofreading. It is really important. You need to adjust the way that you write, or you need to increase the time you spend to proofread your letter, please. Okay, I hope you understand your mistakes, and please try to rectify them. You still have got a lot of time. Don't worry too much about this. Please focus on the mistakes and try to avoid them next time, please. Thank you.